This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Up until now, as one would expect, the Grand Prix Legends series has run road courses. But the community has begun something of a tradition once a season. Today, the drivers must switch gears and attempt to tackle a traditional American oval. Michigan's wide track surface should provide plenty of room, but it won't mean they'll be free of danger. We'll see who is best suited to some good old circle track racing as we get ready to watch round 9 of the Lotus 49 Grand Prix Legends series. And you'll see it all live here on the Global Sim Racing channel and the iRacing Esports Network. Hi, I'm Joe Peak, and with me in the booth is our resident Lotus 49 expert, Mick Claridge. Behind the scenes is our director, the Dr. Amjad Yaman, and he's using cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Michigan International Speedway did see open wheelers during its lifetime in the real world. For some more info on the track, let's head over to Brian Yazik with some background on this incredibly fast circuit.
Welcome to the Michigan International Speedway. This 2-mile D-shaped oval located in the beautiful Irish hills of southern Michigan, sitting about an hour and a half's drive to the southwest of Detroit along I-94, right in the backyard of Chevrolet and Ford. When you're that close to Detroit Power, your speedway better live up to the hype. 18-degree banked corners with a 12-degree banked front stretch allow for maximum power and lots of action. The higher downforce Indy cars were able to put on spectacular shows of driver bravery and talent. In recent years, it's played host to mostly the tin top cars, as the NASCAR Cup, Xfinity, Gander Truck, and even ARCA Series have all hosted events here in the last decade. Michigan is a wide, sweeping oval, but it isn't harmless. The lowest groove of the corners near the bottom can be your very best friend in the IndyCar, but your worst enemy in the tin tops. Cars will frequently get loose that far down the track, causing chaos for the pack behind. Michigan is all about speed and lots of it. Often the drivers that find the most success here are the ones willing to experiment around the track and find grip their competitors haven't. The facility in recent years has doubled down on fan comfort as well, giving more elbow room, redoing seats, camping areas, even providing Wi-Fi to watch all of these live broadcasts in the grandstands of all the sections. All in all, Michigan has become a staple of American motorsports since it opened in 1968. Fans and drivers both always look forward to when the schedules come back to the beautiful Irish hills of southern Michigan. Fast speeds, high action, it's all here at Michigan International Speedway, where it's your speed.
They see a little bit more about this track as it's been updated recently. We are racing on the old version here, Mick, but new or old, it sounds like it's going to be incredibly tricky in these cars.
Yeah, you're not wrong, Joe. It is really tough. We've been racing a lot this week, and one thing you're going to find is the cars are running really, really loose. Coming off of turn 2 and turn 4, the last place you want to be is down low. The cars don't like it. They'll snap round on you. You're going to see a lot of free, maybe even 4 wide down the straights. And hopefully, Joe, pray, no cautions. There's been very little in the way of cautions this week in the races.
Yeah, we'll have to find out how that'll play out because, well, we'll have a few laps around here. We'll go about that in a bit. Before that, let's check out the championships, starting with the F1 championship, which is the Pro Championship. And Rob Olenek has simply been scampering away with things. Marco Kika has been trying to chase him down, but unfortunately, few have been able to top Rob when he shows up for races. Sadro and Mikus are in a tight fight. Peter really has been a lot faster than Sadro in most cases, and Dave Price is rounding out our top 5. And what about the F2 championship? We were taking a look at that, Mick. It sounds like it's getting pretty exciting.
Yeah, we was just looking at that, weren't we, Joe? It's a completely different story in F2. 155 points for Pascal Tremblay. We're not sure if he overtook Dave Rossi last race. We're going to say he did. Maybe they were tied, maybe they weren't. David's back in 150 now. I want to say it's a two-horse race now for the F2 championship, but this race is going to change everything. It's got the possibility of changing everything because Bill Tyler is quick today. So he could make a massive point gain here. Andres Bruno back down in 112 and Colin Smooth as a Bentley 95. Good old Colin.
They also hold a Constructors' Championship, which is actually called a Nations Cup because they actually separate it by the nation that you're racing for, as they did in 67. The U.S. naturally leading with Rob Olenek dominating this season. The U.K. trailing behind, and then you've got a huge jump down to Finland in third. You see Germany and Slovakia round out your top five in the Nations Cup. I mentioned that we've got a few laps to do. How many exactly do we have here today in our race details, Mick?
There's 48 laps today, Joe. It's round 9, is it, Joe? I'm not got it on my screen. I think it's round 9 this week. The 2 drop weeks have already happened for most guys. And like I say, 48 laps. And everyone's got open setup. Setup is really important this week. We'll talk about that in the race. And the cautions are on.
And as always, you're watching this on the iRacing Esports Network. Make sure and subscribe to the channel. All you got to do that is click on the big red button that says subscribe, and then you won't miss a moment here on the Grand Prix Legends series. They've got qualifying going on, but with it being 2 laps and laps being over in about 40 seconds, most everybody is pretty much done at this point. In fact, I'm checking to see if we've got anybody out there. Yet to see, looks like Rodney Evans up to third and on his first lap, so he has time to improve. Olenek is our provisional pole sitter. Like you were talking about, that setup seems to have been found by a few people, and I understand those who are quick out there have been kind of tweaking it sounds like, too.
It looks to me like lap times are a lot closer than I thought they were going to be, especially for the top. Looks around for the top 10 at least. But what was I saying about Bill Tyler, Joe?
Yeah, and Bill is up into second on the front row here. Second lap is quicker for Rodney Evans, but he's just shy for the top. Let's see, we've got 4. It looks like we have 0.2 of a second between them. That is how close they are as the qualifying finishes. So let's go through your starting order here today. It is Rob Olenek on the pole with Bill Tyler next to him. Rodney Evans starts third with Michel Dudignan all the way down in fourth for him. He returns a little bit overwhelmed by the oval. Ove Trangerade in fifth with Taylor Butcher Benjamin in sixth position. Then in seventh, it's Phil Lake. He was a lot quicker in the warm-up, but clearly a little bit outmatched with everybody else out there. Dave Price starts in the eighth spot. Peter Mikus all the way down in ninth. Unusual for him. And then Ned Grant rounds out your top 10.
Kane Lasky, what a lap there. It's 39.5. That's not a good lap for Kane, but expect him to move up. He's been quick all week. Bruce Nelson just came in about 5 minutes before the session started and he's put it on in 11th. Bless him. David Rossi, the Brit. Look at the difference between David Rossi there and Bill Tyler on the grid there. Marco Kika back down there. Pascal Tremblay as well. Daniel Sadro, Colin Coker, Chris Murakami down there as well. Everyone's finding it hard to get round on these first qualifying laps. Down to 20 of 3 in Haycox. What a mix-up, Joe.
Yeah, Todd Broker is in 21st. Gary Anderson, 22nd. Hugh Haycox all the way down at 23rd. And Logan Johnson was the last driver to get a time in. He'll be starting 24th. Adrius Valenteus will be 25th and Colin Bentley 26th. Last two drivers didn't get a time in. And from what I remember, Adrius, who doesn't usually show up for these Saturday races, I want to say last time we saw him at an oval and he was quick. So he'll have some work to do if he does have the speed here at Michigan. You were commenting, too, that the setup is drastically different from what they were running at Pocono, which was last season as well.
Yeah, that's right. We ran whatever setup we did at Pocono, and then I think pretty much the entire grid would have just put that setup in the car and tried, as they joined up for the first race or the first practice session, rather, during the first part of this week. And everyone was happy with the setup, Everyone was getting their lap times done and everything was great. And then Mr. Rob turned up on Friday and beat everyone by 16 seconds with a new setup, and it just knocked everyone sideways. Basically, everyone's caught up with him. We're just on pace with him. But Joe, a shout out to Bill Tyler. I mean, I said I was expecting him to be quick, but I didn't think he'd put it on second, mate.
Clearly, he knows what he's doing out here as they now take off behind the Mustang pace car. One pace lap. Hopefully won't be getting more behind this pace car. As Mick said, we do have cautions on in this series. And the last 2 seasons that we've had the ovals, unfortunately, they've had a number of cautions. But you never know. As Mick said, it's also been pretty caution-free thus far in the races leading up. So with a lot of drivers out here today, will that change the complexion? 26 of them taking part. One of the more full fields we've seen, which has also become a regular thing every season that they bring these ovals in. Attendance has been up. Drivers seem to really love this mix, and who can blame them? It feels pretty fitting for these cars, which love high speed. So as the Mustang pace car comes out of turn 4, below the packed stands, it's going to peel into pit lane and give control to Rob Olenek. As he go early, he's giving a little bit of a wait. He accelerates away as the green flag is out here for round 9, and it is a huge jump for Rob off of the rest of the field. In fact, Bill Tyler gets a little bit overtaken down the inside by Rodney Evans. Can he make it stick, though, here before they get the speed up? He is fully ahead and swings up to that middle line.
Great start by Rob there. Rodney looking good on second now. He'll catch back up. Rob's not going to get away from anyone anytime soon. Now, just as they're going to 3 now, Joe, I'm just watching again. Everyone's on that middle line. Look, the car does not want to go down low in the low groove. It just doesn't come off the turns nice enough. Just watching Rodney. Even now he's just twitching the steering. As he's coming off a 4.
And we've already had one car that's wrecked, but it's in the pit lane. That's Ned Grant, so no caution for him. Unfortunately, that means he is well set back. We had a bit of a checkup at the start on the 4th row. Otherwise, no huge dramas. Rodney Evans already well back of Rob Olenek by 0.4 of a second. First battle we've got is for 4th place. That is Michel Dumillon being overtaken by Phil Lake, who ducks down to the inside. Just outside of the podium now.
Just watching Michel now as he's coming off the turn 4. He's fighting the steering a little bit. Is he going to just duck down underneath, follow Phil, just to take a nice line where he can see what he's doing? I think everyone's just feeling it out at the moment, Joe, do you? Is that Rodney going for the lead there?
It is indeed, and he's got to the inside. He makes it stick. The 25 up to the top spot, but he's way loose. He catches it. Loses a ton of momentum, and he comes back onto the track just in front of Phil Lake, who has to check up big time. 3 wide behind him. It is a huge mess of cars, all following behind Rob Olenek, who takes the lead back without missing a beat.
Yeah, you do not want to run low in this car, Joe. It is horrible. You just saw there, it's a perfect example. You come off of turn 2 there, you run low. I don't know what's going on with the car, whether the chassis twists or whether the dampers are not as you'd want them or whatever. We've been trying all week to get this car to turn down on that low line. It just will not do it.
And, it's interesting in that track guide as we ride on board with Lake with a good run on the high side, that it was mentioned by Brian that the Indy cars, the high downforce cars, love the low line, but the stock cars, NASCAR, does not. And, well, I guess these cars are a little bit more related, ironically, to the stock cars than the Indy cars.
Yeah, and it took a long time for people to work it out. Everyone, like I said, earlier on in the week, people had nice, easy setups and everything was cool.
Oof. Yeah, almost 3 wide for the lead, and then up to the high side. I think that was Rodney Evans as he ducks down low off the corner. Gets a fantastic shot. And here comes Phil Lake as well, also looking for 3 wide, almost 4 wide, and Evans has no place to go. Oh, but he gets into the back of Phil Lake, who is into the wall. A big wreck between two of them. Everybody else managing to avoid our first caution. That was Kane Lasky.
Someone else in the wall off of turn 4.
That was Rodney Evans. Oh, man, this is a bunch of fast drivers.
Such a shame for Rodney there. He was so quick in this race and he'd have been up there. That's so annoying.
And Rodney was the one who made the initial touch to Phil Lake. That sent him down low, got him loose. Lake, unfortunately, discovered with the high momentum around here that there's really little to do to try and save it as soon as it goes south. There's Lasky's perspective. Really the innocent victim in this one. And of course, let's watch from the car that made the contact front to back. Rodney Evans. He wanted to do something with this, Mick. It looked like he was trying to find some way to go, but it was the literal track blockage in front of him.
It was, yeah. You'd be surprised, Joe. I haven't seen much of that this week. We've had big grid races, and that's the first time I've seen that. I'm just noticing now, when it's all finished, Michel Didognon out in front.
Ooh.
That's not normal, is it? That's not normal, is it, Joe, to see him there?
Oh, I think he's got a handle on things now. When did he get ahead of Rob Olenek?
I was looking for it myself. I can't find. It must have just been as the caution came out. He must have just had a run.
Yeah. Okay. So he was the one at the bottom of that 3 wide, and he was just a nose ahead as soon as the caution came out, down into 3 and 4. In fact, it was inches between them when that caution flew. So Michel lucked out because he was on the low side. Rob Olenek could have carried the momentum a little bit more and snuck it back. So Bill Tyler falls to 3rd with that, and Peter Mikus into 4th. Now, as we wait for the green flag to come back out, we want to take an opportunity to mention our merchandise store here for the Global Sim Racing Channel. This is recently opened up, and one of the items that we have there for sale now is a polo shirt. Now, this is a very cool polo shirt because it automatically dispenses fragrances that smell like horses so that it smells like you're playing polo. Now, we feel this will be highly beneficial for you because you'll feel very debonair out there because, what's more polo for a polo shirt than smelling like horses? Make sure and pick one up. Only $21.50 out on our merch store. We're getting ready to get to lap 8 here, and I do believe it's going to be a single file start. Let's check to see if those lights are off on the pace car here.
It's double, Joe, I think.
Oh.
It's double file.
You're right.
I'm just wondering what some of the guys' shirts smell like in the cars these today.
Yeah. God, how nerve-wracking is that? Because you ran some races this week with these guys. How different does it feel in the car compared to the normal road races?
Yeah, it's completely different. And it's such a blast just to run. You're so close to each other. There's acres of track to slide up on if you do get it wrong, And it's just completely different. It's just so nice, and it's really good to see. I'm all for this, Joe. People like Bill Tyler up there fighting with the fast guys. They're normally untouchable on the road courses. It's really great. So yeah, this track's brilliant for this sort of stuff. Anyway, Joe, we're going green.
We are indeed. Now, Dudagnon might not have as much experience on the ovals. I'm actually curious how much he does have. However, Rob Olenek has some oval teammates, which we believe has helped him somewhat with the setup out there. Granted, he could have plenty of experience himself. But does he know how to do these restarts starting from the outside? So far, it looks like he does, because he's hanging back just a little bit to keep an eye on Dudignon on when he goes, who's waiting. Now he accelerates away, immediately sliding down into second, covering off the low line. Rob Olenek ahead of Bill Tyler. Behind them, pretty good start. Of course, we've lost a few drivers, but not many. We still got 22 out there out of our 26 that began this race. Pretty much getting single file quickly through much of the field.
Yeah, just looking at one guy now up there as well, Uwe Trengrade. He's up in the 6th position. Yeah, I was just going to say regarding Michel, he's using my set, so I know how loose that car is. So you won't see that car running down low, I'll tell you that, Joe.
And Olenek immediately takes the lead back away on the backstretch. The first lap under green. Dudignon slots into second. They've got a big gap back to third place. That's Mikus fending off a whole pack of cars. Tyler, Price, Kika, and Trangrade are flanking him on all sides, trying to find a way around.
Yeah, the draft's too strong here, Joe. They will not get away from the guys in front there. The guys behind following. You can pretty much get the gap back, even if you've got like almost a 2-second lead. The guys behind will catch you, but you'd still need to work at it. It's not as easy as somewhere like Monza Oval, where you're just literally pointing the car and that's it. You can see the guys running down low. They're actually trying to break the toe, and they're almost going 3 wide behind them now. I thought that was going to be a 3 wide into 1, but no, it's not.
Yeah, that was Mikus who almost got ran into by Kika, and once again nearly making contact. Mikus on the high side of Bill Tyler. Meanwhile, Dudignon retakes the lead over Olenek. Oh my goodness, it is getting very dicey for this third spot. I've not got a good feeling about this, if I'm honest, Nick.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing there, yeah. Especially where you just see Marco there just running down on that low line, and I can just watch his steering as well when he's doing that. You're right on the limit, Joe. You really are. I mean, from the outside, guys watching it just looks like cars going around an oval, and looks pretty boring, really, as they're going around these corners. But trust me, the guys are really on the limit, going around these corners low like this. Marco,
almost
that was
3 wide through 1 and 2.
So
Kika holds it low. Bill Tyler carries the shot off the high side, down into the corner once again. Carrying the speed, the number 16 looking very handy. Kika doing what he can, but the car getting awful loose. Exactly what you're talking about, Mick, and he loses momentum big time. Not only does Mikus get by, but here comes Dave Price.
Yeah, Mikus got a lovely run now on the outside. And let's think about the end of this race, Joe, because who's going to be able to make a move. I was telling Michelle this morning, talking to him about the race and what's going to happen. I think the actual win is going to come from a high line pass. In fact, I'd bet my house on it. No one's going to get round on a low line.
Still seeing that battle for the second, but the battle for first at times has been side by side. Olenek had a go at Dudignon, but it didn't work out. Mikus working the low line off of 4. Bill Tyler, once again, proving momentum is king around here and denies him once more. A couple 2 wide behind him, Dave Price. So is he going to be able to get around Peter now? He's got the desirable higher line, a little bit loose off the corner, and the number 5 falls back. Now up to 4th place for the 6 car. Up at the front, once again, Olenek trying to get around Dudignon. He had the high line into the corner, but just couldn't get it done down the backstretch.
They're doing really well. I'm really impressed. I thought there was going to be more mayhem, to be honest with you, Joe. They're running really well here.
Third time's a charm, I suppose. This is the 3rd time they've done this in recent time. And Rob Olenek finally gets the lead away from Michel Dudignon. He slots back up in front. Dudignon into second. Oh no! And that's Dave Price getting spun down low. He's off the racing line. No caution. Poor Dave Price, who is having a hell of a run.
Yeah, Joe, I was just going to say to you, Dave's running low, and I'm not sure that's the right thing to do, but it wasn't even actually him that made the mistake there. Yeah, he got run into there on the front left wheel, front right wheel, span him out. But yeah, that's a shame. He looks like he's got a bit of damage, to be honest. I'm just looking at his steering.
It was either Peter or Marco. I didn't quite see who it was that clipped him, but yeah, they got loose on the high side, and that was that. He fell all the way to the back with nobody to try and help him. Meanwhile, still up at the front here, Dudignan looking for the lead right back from Olenek, and he gets it as behind them, Marco Kika and Peter Miku swapping back and forth with Bill Tyler giving watch.
Yeah, Mika's just lost the back end coming off a 4 there, but it will still get a nice run, just because he was using that high line, They're both getting the toe off the guys in front now as they go into 1. Now we'll just watch the difference between Mika's. Oh, don't do that, don't do that, my heart, Mika's. But he's sliding in behind, but now he's running high. Look, you'll just see, he lost the back end there, but I know Mika's likes a loose car, but, don't set it up too loose, Peter.
Remember I mentioned the number 2 car, Valenteus, was pretty quick the last time we were at an oval. From the back of the field, he is now up to 6. He has picked his way through, and he's about to reach the top pack. So can he chase down the leaders and fight for the win after that, though? Because Olenek and Dudignan have been in a class of their own, and few have been able to challenge them. Oh, but it is getting awful tight. We had a touch between Mikus and Tyler, and they both come out of it okay. Let's take a look at the replay. My goodness. It says heart in your throat type stuff. Actually got into the air, and these cars are doing 170, 180 miles an hour.
Yeah, I think what the story was there was Bill Tyler had such a perfect run into 1 there. He was right exactly where you want to put the car, Joe, and it was just going so much faster than the 2 guys in front. I think that's all it was. Bill's quick, Bill is quick here today. If he gets a chance, he'll be up there with Rob and Michelle, I'm sure.
You expect these cars to get airborne at the Nürburgring, not here in an oval. But the battle for the top spot is closed in. Mikus and Kika have caught them. Oh, Bill Tyler got way loose coming off of 4 there.
Yeah, and Adrius is going to get a nice run down the inside there. I'm not sure he wants to run down there, though. I keep saying the same thing. Holds a nice line there for Ad. That's the line you want. That's the perfect line for Adrius there. See how he just powers off the corner now? No rear end, loss of grip whatsoever. No running down underneath that little black line where you don't want to be. Such a nice entry into 1 there he had. Let's see how he goes into 2. Yeah, nice and smooth into 2 now. He's going to get a really nice run here, Joe. I actually expect him to be in front of these 2 guys now at the end of this corner. Oh, he lost the rear there.
Yeah.
Didn't want to do that.
They actually went single file all the way back up through this first pack for the first time in a while, as the lead's going to swap once again down on the low side. Olenek's probably not going to be able to hold it. Those black lines you mentioned. Oh, but nearly getting the wall. Michel Dudignan with a monster save. Look at how much that slowed him up, though. Like a shot, Marco Kika immediately takes second place away, and this gives a small gap to Olenek, but we've seen those gaps do not last.
I just watched a little bit of the on-board there for Michel, just as he was coming off of that corner, and he was soaring away at the wheel there. He did well to hold that. Well done, mate.
Now, what do the tires do over the course of a long green stint? Do they change much in behavior, or are they pretty rock hard?
I'll tell you what, Joe, contrary to everyone's belief about this car, that the tyres don't wear out or anything else like that, you can actually overheat the tyres. You can on road courses, but on the oval, on this oval, particularly this oval, it gets really dangerous because you overheat the rears, and then it starts really getting bad and sliding around too much, and you have to hold back and calm down. It happened to me in practice this morning when I was just running, and it's not a nice feeling, and you can't really do anything to cure it. You still got to keep up, and then it becomes a battle with your right foot, because it's so tough when it does overheat like that on the back.
This group has been so exciting. It goes all the way back to 10th. We haven't really had much time to mention that we have a second pack with Murakami, Tremblay, Bentley, and Rossi, but they're pretty spread out currently. They are, however, some of our F2 drivers, and we'll try and touch on that when we can and how that is affecting the championship. Valenteus is already up to second place now, though, having started this race in 25th out of 26 cars, but he's up to the front. Can he continue this pace and actually drop them? He's going to try and get a run on Rob Olenek for the lead, and for the first time this race, Adrias is going to be our leader. However, we still have half the race left to go.
Yeah, unbelievable drive. You know the guy. I don't know the guy, Joe, at all. So yeah, I'm really impressed with...
Oh, we got a caution.
Oh, there's a caution. I don't know what's happened there.
Looking for it. Looks like Broker. Whoa! He went for a big tumble. This was a single car incident off of 2. The 22 car just is going to clip the wall, and these open wheelers do not like touching the concrete. Fortunately, goes for a little breakdancing lesson. And that is going to be his day over. Trying to see, yeah, no, none of our cars who have wrecked have come back out. Lasky's called it a day. Ned Grant has. Rodney Evans and Phil Lake are still taking repairs. I personally would not want to try and take these cars around at about 170, wondering whether or not it handles well, Nick.
I was going to say the steering's cocked to one side as it is when the car's not damaged at this place. So yeah, you wouldn't want to take it out damaged, especially with this pack coming round. And it's annoying because you want to get back out there, but at the same time you got to think to yourself, geez, I'm going to really screw people up if I cause the big one, and it can happen,
Certainly with multiple laps down, I'm not sure that there'll be much to be gained, but some drivers do want to get that safety rating back. Oh, and what happened to Logan Johnson? Trying to catch him here. He keeps going through my order. And we got a car in. That's Hugh Haycox. Wonder if Hugh got a little bit of damage from some touching the wall somewhere or something. Logan, let's see. Logan had something happen where he hit the wall. Oh, you know what? Something these drivers probably aren't used to in this car is catching the pace car and having to get slowed up. And it involved Hugh Haycox as well. They ran into one another.
Right, I can't see it. But yeah, Joe, that'll be brake bias. These brake biases set at 50. Everyone's running rear as it can go, right on the back wheels. So it's like lifting the handbrake up. So yeah, it's just going to spin round on you if you lock the rear wheels up like that.
I think it's funny that you mentioned everybody just thinks it looks boring and going around in circles with the oval racing, but time and time again, Mick, whenever I cover oval races, I find that the drivers who haven't done it before will find little nuances and things that just catch them out like that they didn't realize that there is such skill to oval racing.
Yeah, and even down to the basics. Last night I was leading and the caution came out. I had to ask how you do a restart. I didn't know what you do with the pace car. So Rod was kind enough to let me know, don't overtake it before it goes in the pits, and then that was it. And then I suddenly thought to myself, I've never done a restart in second gear, what I've got on my second gear. So you don't know how that's going to behave. And, so it really is completely different to road racing. And all these guys, 90% of the guys here are road racers.
A few seem to have taken to it like duck to water. Others less so. We're now down to 19 cars on track because of that incident during the caution. Gary Anderson did go in and come back out, and I'm not sure why he had a pit stop. There shouldn't have been any scheduled stops around here. The cars can have plenty of fuel. I mean, maybe he did duck in and take tires.
Yeah, maybe he did overheat them and thought to himself, "Oh, the tires are gone." You never know. You never know what people are thinking. So wouldn't be shocked to hear that. I'm just looking down the order. Bill Tyler in 4th position, is it now? F2 battle I'm talking about here. David Rossi down in 13th. And Pascal Tremblay, there he is in 12th. So yeah, so like I said, the F2 battle looked like a 2-horse race before this race started. But it doesn't now so much, does it?
Yeah, unfortunately. And I did go back and look at what happened to Anderson. We don't need a replay, but it was the same incident. Slowing up, didn't hit anybody, trying to catch the pace car. He hit the wall. He had to come in and get a little bit of repairs. So he'll be on edge trying to figure out how that car is handling once we go back to green, which should be after, not this time, but next time, obviously. As we see
next time around it's going to be, I think the pace light's going to go out as he goes across the finish line this time.
Watching those lights right now. They just heading across the line. And
there we go. We haven't got to sing any songs or tell any jokes.
So lap 28. Still quite a bit left to go out here, but this is only our second caution thus far. As frantic as the racing has been, the drivers have been dealing with it well, and we're going to have 19 restarters. I'm actually kind of surprised we haven't seen anybody duck in and try and take tires. Is it much of a pace advantage? I know handling obviously changes on the car, but can you pick up a few tenths by getting fresh ones?
No, not at all. And it's actually quite horrible when you come out the pits on the cold tyres. It's quite scary when you do start this race. People are being fourth gear because the car won't be up to speed, and the back end's going to go even more because the tyres are cold. The only thing you got to do is not overheat them, and like I said, it's pretty impossible to work out if you have, gone past the limit of the tyres. It just sort of seems to happen. You sort of think to yourself, well, I didn't go too fast into that corner there. Why are they overheated? But sometimes they just do. Going green, Joe. Let's go.
All right. We're too wide, and the Mustang pace car is coming out of turn 4, but this time it's Adrius Valenteus who is leading the way. What can the Oval Master and these Lotus 49s show the field? He's been awful quick last times we saw him here on the broadcast. Green flag is out. He gets a decent jump over Rob Olenek behind them in second, trying to settle it. Oh, big checkup, though. Marco Kika looks to be caught out as he starts to fall down the order in the mid-pack. Not sure what happened.
I actually missed what happened there. I'm just going to rewind it myself and have a look.
He's looking at that. They get single file down the back stretch. It's Valenteus, Olenek, Dudignon, Tyler, and Mikus, your top 5. But they accordion back together with the draft, bringing them in to turn 3. No pass attempts this time. Could things have calmed down now, potentially?
No. Joe, this is the Lotus 49 and it's at Michigan. It's not going to calm down. It's just going to get worse and worse and worse. Incidentally, Marco was in the wrong gear when he pulled away there, I think.
Another one of those rookie mistakes, I suppose.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
Up on the high side, fends off Rob Olenek, 3 wide for the lead because here comes Dudignon. This is the second time we've seen this race. This time is Dudignon going to be able to avoid an accident happening with it? I think those 3 have got it sorted out, and Michelle looks to have that desired middle line coming off the corner. Lead goes to the number 1 car, Valenteus, and the number 2 slotting into second position, but he's going to fight back up on the high side.
Going to fight back, and Michelle's forced to run low. Now I know for a fact Michelle's car's loose anyway. Let's just watch how he comes off this turn. I can see him fighting his little steering wheel there, but nicely done there. Nicely done to hold that second place for us for as long as he did there.
Oh, but another 3 wide situation because Mikus coming up on the high side. Everybody's sending it as hard as they can into turn 3. Doesn't work out for Mikus. Olenek trying to use that desired line, but he also gets loose. In fact, it's the low side for the first time.
Yeah, Rob got really loose there, didn't he? He really had to get out of the throttle there, and Peter Nichols was just looking left and waving after that. That was golden for Peter Nichols there.
Michel Dudignon liking that, as that's going to give him second place off the corner. Olenek not looking too handy. Once again, car is shaky. And he's now falling back into 5th because here comes Bill Tyler. And he is going to move into P4, at least try it. Olenek looks to deny him as he somehow carries the speed incredibly well through.
Yeah, carries the speed nice there. Bill's going to have a little bit of a run here, though. He's not got the difference in the speed advantage there. Too wide up the front, though.
And Dunion going low and managing to get up to the front. Valenteus up on the high side. Mid-corner looked very good. Whoa! Who was that nearly getting the wall? That was Miku's. Oh,
yeah, I was just watching Michelle there. He was on the limit there coming off that corner. The car doesn't like being down there, you know. The steering was shaking all over the place. Peter Mikus he likes a really loose car. I've learned that now about this guy. He really sets the car up loose. He has it really understeery on the way in and really loose on the way out. So if he's set the car up like that this week, he's going to have his work cut out, I think.
Valenteus back up to the front. Tyler had a good shot. He gets into second place. And up behind him, Mikus tries to come back, but has nowhere to go. In fact, he gets boxed in on the backstretch. And they're going to go 3 wide once more. Down on the low side, it is Marco Kika getting back into things. Oh, but drifting a little bit high. Nearly got into Tyler.
Just a little shout out for the guys behind there. Bruce Nelson still in check with these guys, and Over Trangrade. Over Trangrade wouldn't have done much practice for this race. He's been very lucky to get a nice set, I think. Very lucky.
He's been hovering around the back of this top pack. They've also got Taylor Butcher Benjamin in there, just sort of waiting and biding his time. Another pass for the lead. Valenteus going to go by Dunion. The first and second seem to be swapping back and forth, but it almost makes me wonder if you could be the third in a pack of 3 up at the very top. Would that be the most advantageous spot, Mick, or is the third not going to have quite enough?
I've had situations like that at Monza where you are the third car in the line, and as you come off the last turn, the seas part, you know, and there's a nice gap in the middle, and you just fly through that gap. You know, whether that's going to happen today for one of the guys that are behind, I don't know. But anything but low, Joe. Anything but low.
Riding on board here with Marco Kika. Unfortunately, falls back a little bit from Bill Tyler. Boy, don't pick a position because it's going to change every other second. Up on the front stretch this time by, it is Olenek leading. Valenteus second place. Dudignon back to third. Tyler lifts down low, coming into the corner. Up on the high side, trying to get the shot. Valenteus seeing if he can get the lead back, but unfortunately, it doesn't quite work out at this moment.
Yeah, Rob nailed that. Oh, still, you want to say that he nailed it, and then obviously, you know, as soon as he does, he loses the rear end. You know, this is what I'm saying, Joe. These guys are totally on the limit of this car coming out of these corners. It's such a guessing game whether the car's going to stick or whether it's not. Looks like Rob's going to get a bit of a toe now from someone in front. Can't quite see who that is now, but he's going to get a nice little run there, I think. Nice little toe there, but the guy, he's really slowing down now. He doesn't want to be there.
It's 3 wide, and we got a car down low getting lapped. That's Logan Johnson trying to stay out of the way, but it does cause an incident and a few cars getting... That's Mikus. Did anybody else... I saw some contact. Trying to figure out who that was. I think that was Snelson. Did he get away lucky, though? It's pretty hard contact. We're already going 3 wide down into there, and unfortunately a 4th car mid-corner just didn't work out. Watch it from above. Snelson's still going, and he's riding in 6th.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Snelson's steering now. I think he's going to be all right. Yeah, that was unfortunate. They just caught up with Logan there, right in the worst part of the turn. You know, no fault of Logan. He was running as low as he could there to stay out of the way of the guys. But I think Peter Mickel's got a bit spooked there, and cars sort of just moving around a bit where they're not normally, you know, during the lap. So just a bit of a racing incident, you can call it, I suppose, can you? That one.
Yeah, I think it was one of those things that was bound to happen with the lap traffic, although he could have maybe ducked all the way down onto the apron just going to be difficult to do. While we've got this moment under the caution, we also have another item on our merch store. We have stickers for sale. This is actually the cheapest item, so if you want one small thing that you can have, you can get one of these stickers. But just because they are cheap to buy doesn't mean they are cheap in quality. In fact, these are so high in quality that the smooth surface that we have on them are diamond encrusted. So once you put it on the car, it is not getting chipped by anything. That is how hardy these stickers are. In fact, you could put these on a tank and send them out into the battlefield, and you will not see a difference out there. So buy one of these GSRC stickers. They are highly worth it, and they last.
I'll get a free one as a co-presenter.
I'm afraid
No,
we don't
you're
have
going
any.
to say no.
Yeah. We'll see what we'll talk to marketing, see what we can do for it. No promises.
What about a cheap polo shirt? Come on, guys.
Maybe we can make the polo shirt our in-office garb.
I like that.
Yeah. You can see right now, Valenteus is going to come back our leader. Olenek is second. Kika third. Dudignon down to fourth. Tyler fifth. Again, that'll change around pretty quickly, no matter where you look. This will bring a few cars back into the mix. And how about this? Remember we saw Dave Price spin and find himself all the way at the back of the field? Well, he's back up to ninth now. These cautions can, even though they are I'm sure are a little bit boring for some people, they bring everyone back together, Mick, and it changes the complexion of things.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I'm surprised to see Dave back there at all after that incident he had. And like you say, yeah, it really, changes the outlook on the race now. Everyone's back up there. Everyone's going to be really praying they get a good restart. And Joe, we're already on lap 40, so the pace car's going to come in on lap 42, lap 41, lap 42. So we're only going to have about 5 laps left of this race now. So it's going to get pretty intense up front.
Yeah, it looks like I think you're right on lap 42 because we're not going double wide this time. Interesting that I'm seeing Valenteus head down low. Now, usually in oval racing, that's what you do to save a little bit of fuel. I wouldn't expect drivers to really be short fueling around here because I wouldn't think there'd be much advantage to doing so.
No, there's no advantage whatsoever to do that. I think he's just bored.
So 8 laps to go.
Probably just trying to get used to the car. I mean, has he driven the car before? He's probably trying to work out how it feels on a flat piece of ground,
Yeah, I don't think we've seen him on any of the road races, which is amusing because we talk about the oval side being very American-centric, and he hails from the Central Eastern Europe Club. But we do have some drivers from all over the world who do enjoy oval racing. Just did not expected one of them to be more strictly on the oval side. And I'd love to see, I'm with you, I'd love to see how Andreas does on a road course if he does race them regularly.
Yeah, actually I had a couple of guys asking me what the series was like, on the road side of things. And, that's what he was doing. He was fainting the pit stop. He was just trying to see. That's not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, no. That's why I was watching. I was like, he can't be actually coming in.
Yeah. Well, he knows his way around an oval then.
He certainly does. He even knows how to fake a pit stop. Now, do we have the lights off here? Are we getting too wide? Yes. All right. Just a very messy too wide. They are not in any sort of formation currently. They'll get there eventually. They got a whole lap to go. It's 2 miles around this place.
Lotus 49, what do you expect?
It's going to be 6 to go when they get the green flag. There are no green-white checkers, however, in this series. So it's very early, over here. The drivers do have to try and keep it green all the way to the finish because I'm pretty sure unless they get it right away, they're not going to be able to finish under green.
I want to share some expertise on ovals, Joe, but I got no idea. I know it's not green, white checkered. We finished last night on a yellow flag. But as for where the caution came out when we were on the lap, I'm, none the wiser, mate. I'm a roadie. Sorry.
Yeah, for those who are not familiar with oval racing, a green, white checker means that if they get a caution and will finish under caution normally, they will get an extra 2 laps when they go back to green to make sure that they finish under green. Hence green, white checkers, because you'll get the green flag, you get the white flag, then you get the checkered flag. But Valenteus gets the green flag right now. He's going to hope that he gets a few laps before he gets that white flag as they get up to speed. Mostly single file, bit of too wide down for 4th place as Dudignon tries to get back to the front. Boy, Bill Tyler. Oh, and Dudignon, like a shot up on the high side. Good on this restart. He immediately gets by Kika for 3rd spot. He wants to get back to the lead.
Yeah, kept it in 4th gear into turn 1 there, Joe. Kept his foot in and the car just basically drifted round. That's typical Michelle, isn't it, really? What can you say?
Rob Olenek going to take the top spot away from Valenteus now. But Valenteus going to deny him, carrying his speed well. Now they're being joined by the Frenchman. Michel Dudignon looks to try and carry the speed once more like he did on that restart. And can he maybe duck low? No, his momentum going to be interrupted a little bit as Rob Olenek in the way.
Rob was a bit shaky on that corner there, wasn't he?
Still, he's able to get by. Dudignon now into 2nd place. On this restart, he was in 5th. He is now up to 2nd. He is looking incredibly good here early in the run. Now chasing down Valenteus as we ride on board with Olenek, watching the 2 try to sort this out. We are down to 4 laps to go.
Yeah, down into 4th gear for Rob there. Get it turned in. Watch that black line. Don't run too low there, Rob. Don't run too low there. Fighting the steering on the way out now. The car's, it's getting a little bit loose on the exit there. Michel going for the lead.
Michel Dudignon now looking on the low side of Valenteus, but he's looking strong. Ow, I don't think we've seen someone look that good. Oh, he's a little loose coming off the corner, but still manages to make it stick.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, Joe, you cannot have your foot planted coming off of turn 4 or turn 2. If you do, that's exactly what happened. I know exactly what he's done there. He's just put a little bit too much power there coming off the exit. And the car just feels horrible when it does that. Horrible. Both side by side now. There's a car in front of them going into turn 4. Can't see quite who that is, but that's going to come into play before the end of the race.
Dudignon trying to imitate his fellow countryman Pagenaud to see if he can win on ovals. And he's currently got the lead as we go 2 to go this time by. Now they're being joined by Marco Kika as well. And we're going to go 2 by 2. No, we're going to go 4 wide down the front stretch for the lead. And Marco Kika, can he make this work on the high side? No, nobody can make it work because getting tipped around. That's Valenteus. Caution is out. Who is ahead? It was Dudignon. Dudignon is going to win it, as Valenteus lies in a heap on the grass in the infield. Not the way that we wanted to see it end, especially not Valenteus.
Yeah, such a shame for him. He's done so well today. How fast has he been today?
White flag comes out as the yellow flag comes out. We're watching the replay one more time. This is Olenek who makes the contact. He got away lucky with that. He winds up in 3rd. Ove did as well, honestly. He was behind them. He sees it happening. Probably thinking this is not good. Let's see what kind of escape he makes. Woo!
Oh,
wow, and he catches it.
Wow, look at that.
Well, unfortunately, that meant I think he lost a position in that. He fell to 6th, but still, he's going to be able to finish the race and get a decent amount of points. But so is Michel Dudignon. Marco Kika, who was chasing Rob Olenek, by the way, in the points, he's going to make a small indent, but a very small one. He finishes right ahead of him. Still, points are points. And Michel Dudignan, who doesn't care about any points currently as he is not in this championship, is going to take the victory as he comes to the line here in Michigan. The Frenchman does wind up imitating Simon Pagenaud with a win here at the Oval round in the Grand Prix Legends Series. Kika for second, Olenek for third, Dave Price back up to fourth after all of that.
After all of that, and Bill Tyler there as well, F2 driver. I'm just looking down, see where Patrick Tremblay is, because that's going to pay dividends. He's ahead of David Rossi there. Going to be really interesting to see how the F2 battle plays out after this.
Yes, that's going to get him a couple points over him, but that's going to take us to a quick break here on the Global Sim Racing channel. We'll come back not only with the official results, but some driver interviews. Stick around because on screen you're going to see all the upcoming races here on the GSRC. Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. It's the Grand Prix Legends Series. If you're just joining us, I'm sure you didn't expect that. But Michel Dudignan probably didn't expect the win either, being taken 4 wide with a lap to go. Unfortunately, it did end under caution, but Dudignan with the victory ahead of Marco Kika and Rob Olenek rounding out the podium. Dave Price, who looked like he was out of it, found the cautions bringing him back into the mix, and he did get fourth. Bill Tyler with a 5th place, unfortunately from the front row, eventually fell back. Ove Trangrade with a monster save at the very end got 6th position. Bruce Nelson from 12th on the grid up to 7th. Not a bad run from him. Taylor Butcher Benjamin took 8th place, and Chris Murakami, another big climb, 18th to 9th. Daniel Sadro rounds out your top 10.
Yeah, great top 10 for the guys there. Ian Haycock's down in 11th now, and then we're getting to the F2. David Rossi, that's going to hurt after this race because Bill Tyler finished up there at the front there. Andrew Ng, regular 13th place. Colin Coker, the Aussie, in 14th. Colin Smoothers of Bentley, 15th. Gary Anderson, 16th. Pascal Tremblay, the other F2 driver in the hunt, down in 17th. And look at that, Andreas Valenteus down in 18th place after that last lap tangle. That was horrible. Logan Johnson, he was involved in it, wasn't he, as well? On the low line there as a back marker, he's down in 19th. And another one who's suffered today, Peter Mickus, down in 20th place.
Yeah, these are all DNFs from here. Hugh Haycox, Todd Broker, Rodney Evans, Kane Lasky, Phil Lake, who he wasn't happy about what happened and how that race ended.
Yeah.
We didn't get to cover it. And Ned Grant, the last on the field. We have third place finisher Rob Olenek with us. And Rob, as we pull him into the booth here, did get a podium, and he did get beat by Kika, who made small inroads into his points lead. But Rob, I'm guessing you're not even concerned about that, because that looked like a lot of fun out there.
Oh, it absolutely was. I love these oval races. I wouldn't want to do them every week in this series, but it's kind of like a special event every season.
It really is. Yeah. And we enjoyed getting to cover this one. This one seemed to go a lot better than the previous seasons as well. We've done Talladega and Pocono. Were you surprised that Michigan put on that much better of a show this season?
I was. It's only my second time racing this track. I had tried it in the trucks, and it's a little more difficult in the trucks, honestly. And it raced really well, and it was. I didn't think it was that hard to get up to pace. Everyone had a pretty darn good setup this week. That was set up just perfect for this track. It seemed like. I mean, slight variations off of it, but I think a lot of us were all basing off the same set.
Yeah, and we talked about that quite a bit, because Mick was a bit surprised at how loose yours was. Did you set yours up completely yourself, or did you have any help from teammates? How did you come to that?
You know, Tanner McCullough. Yeah, he has his own like setup board, and I got one of his sets a few oval races ago that I just been tweaking from there, and it was worlds better than anything I could come up with on my own to start with. But Mick, he slightly adjusted the set. I've tried it, and I was like 50-50 on which one to run. You know, his was a little looser on throttle than mine, but I felt like I'd already done pretty well in a couple races, and I felt like mine was just a shade safer. You know, like it was less of a chance that the rear was going to kick out and lose some speed from that. So I just went with my pretty much original set. And it was fun.
Well, it didn't get you the victory, but a third place, again, is a good finish, especially with how unpredictable it looked out there.
No kidding. I'll take third any day at an oval.
Congratulations on third today, Rob.
And too bad for Andreas. How do you say his name? I don't know. But
yeah,
it kind of was a bummer, because that was so close to not being anything. And I didn't even know we were 4 wide. Like, I was like, I didn't know why he kind of came down, but looking at it afterwards, I can tell why. We didn't have much room.
Yeah. We were getting pretty shouty at that moment here in the booth.
I bet. I'm like, how did I end up in third? I looked at it, and like Marco was in first at one point. I couldn't believe it. I had no idea, but it was fun. All right, I'll let you go to the next guy, and I'll see you guys later.
No problem. That was Rob Olenek, third place. As Mick is caught up with Dave Price, who climbed all the way back up to fourth.
Hey, Dave. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, pretty good, mate. Pretty good.
Yeah, good. Listen, Matt, I wanted to ask you a question, if you can, before we get to the spin and the fight back through the whole field and all the rest of it, what you did today. Just put us in your car as you go round into turn 1 and 2 and you're down on the low line. How do you feel coming off the corner when you're doing that?
I nicked a set that I found somewhere on the forums, an oval set, because as you know, I know nothing about ovals and car setups.
None of us do, mate. None of us. You know that.
Yeah, well, indeed, yeah. And I actually felt good. I think I guess they call it turn 2, don't they? The second part of the banking. The car gets kind of loose in the middle of the corner, but it just seems to settle itself, and you just get a nice bit of oversteer. Just keeps you to that slightly lower line, and allows you to sort of drift out and maintain some good pace right out onto the back straight. So I particularly enjoyed that bit of the track. That's probably my favourite bit.
I'm just going to say, Dave, I think you're about the only guy in the whole race that would have enjoyed coming off a turn 2 if you was running low like that. Take us through it, mate. You span early on and you fought back through the whole field, and you was up there at the end with mixing it up. So just go through that for us, guys. It was brilliant to watch.
Yeah, I'd just come out. I was talking about turn 2. I'd come out turn 2. I got a good run. And I was alongside, I think it was Bill, I think, and I was going straight down the straight. There was no issue, and I haven't had the chance to look at the replay, but it seems to me he just sort of came across and hit me. I don't know if it's like a netcode thing or something. I don't know, but it hit me and I spun out, and then I was just hoping the car was still fairly straight, and it was. And I think I was second last, one guy behind me, and so I thought I'd try and catch the pack in front. And then fortunately we had a yellow, so we all got grouped up again, and I made up 5 or 6 places in that little session before we had yet another yellow. And I think that was probably the last session of the race. Obviously we finished under yellows at the end there, but yeah, it's great fun. I like it when we have an oval in the season. I know it's a kind of slightly controversial choice for a few of the regulars, but it's kind of nice, breaks it up, something a bit different. So I had good fun. I was a bit frustrated not to be fighting for the win, but never mind.
Yeah, well done anyway, mate. You did well after the spin. Just quickly, you here next week for Interlagos?
Yeah, should be, mate. Yeah, should be. All being well. The other thing I wanted to say was it's great to have Michelle back.
I was going to say the same thing. Yeah, good to see him back. Yeah, not really good seeing him win again, but
no, he does.
Well done, Dave.
He does that too much.
All right, that was Dave Price, 4th place here today, and it looks like that's our last interview, so it's time to close it out with a big thank you to the Lotus 49 community once again for bringing us back for another season of coverage, and also to iRacing for bringing us back on the iRacing Esports Network. We highly encourage everybody to go and subscribe to there. When you have the opportunity, all you got to do is click the big red button on their YouTube page. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and the hardware for our broadcast. You can see them listed here on your screen. And additional thanks go to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen for how to get a hold of more of her great work. Thanks to the team today, Mick, Amjed, and Dougie. If you'd like to find out more about GSRC, including upcoming races, you can find it at globalsimracingchannel.com. You can also check us out on social media. Our Twitter is @GSR Channel, Facebook is Global Sim Racing Channel, and Instagram is GSRC_Graham. Again, if you'd like to support the channel, check out our merchandise store. The link is in the description, but if you don't want to look at that and want to type it in yourself, it's gsrc.storenvy.com. Next race is going to be at Interlagos. That'll be Saturday, November 16th at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. But if you want a lot of racing, we have a ton coming up here just now. We've got the DGFX series starting in just a few moments. Go and check that out. It'll be 5 hours of coverage with a 4-hour race and an hour of qualifying. We have upcoming races for other series listed on the screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. But until next time, race clean, race hard. We'll see you on the track.